Hello, it's good to see you. So I was driving home the other night and, was listening to something and, getting ready to stop at a traffic light, and all of a sudden, feel this, and I realized that, there's been some impact against my car. Someone has bumped into me. And so God is so amazingly good to me. And, I got out, he got out, and we looked at our cars, and no one was hurt, and there was no damage, and everything was great, and thank you, Lord. And so I continued to drive on home, a little shaken up there, and sort of my mind was going in a lot of different places. And, I began to think about the cervicals, your cervical vertebrae. Of course, you're thinking about your neck when, something happens and there's impact, especially from the rear. You think about whiplash. I've heard once about a woman that I think I read about that it truly was rear-ended at, 40 miles an hour, and she didn't survive that. And that made me think of a Vimeo on my beloved teacher Rebecca Leone has a Vimeo channel with many wonderful Vimeos, all well worth your time. But this one was entitled The Vertebral Artery, where she talks about how it's not likely, it's not probable, but it is possible that if you're someone who is prone to building up plaque in your arteries, particularly the vertebral artery, the one that kind of feeds into your brain, and you have a sudden impact or twisting that could dislodge any built up plaque in there, then that could possibly be fatal. And so I wondered if, that's what had happened to that woman. As I began, my mind is going everywhere, thinking about cervical issues after feeling that someone had kind of tapped into my car. And so I began to think about inversions, which again, if you listen to the Vimeo that Rebecca did about the vertebral artery. So, if you're practicing inversion, say you're standing on your head, the cervical vertebrae are meant to hold up your head. They are not meant to take the weight of your ribs and your hips and your legs. So if you are doing a headstand practice, there shouldn't be any weight on your head. If you're weighting down into your neck, into your head, then that is not a natural thing for the cervical spine. It wasn't designed to support the weight of you. And again, that can create blockages in the vertebral artery, that with a sudden twist, a sudden movement, dislodging that blockage and going forcefully right into your brain, and there have been yoga deaths. And so, my mind began to go there, and then I began to remember what Rebecca just brilliantly used to say. The design is that this is a bowling ball on a broomstick. So you really need to think about the weight of your head balancing on the cervicals. Your ears should be in line with the sides of your shoulders. In Rebecca's doming techniques, you want to think about the roof of the mouth resting over the manubrium. So that's where you're going to decrease the pressure there at the junction of the neck and the CT junction, the cervical thoracic junction, where you get, so many people get that knot, that tension knot. What another Pilates teacher blogging has written, that annoying knot at the base of the neck. Well, that tension is often there because of inappropriate weight pulls there at the base of the neck. So if the head is resting where it's supposed to rest, you shouldn't really feel that tense knot. But as we tend to go forward with weight and gravity, this increases the amount of pressure, so that bowling ball pulling forward on the broomstick, and over time with gravity you begin to see a lot of people's heads roll forward, and that is making the head, because it's taking more of your body with it, weigh exponentially more, so that somebody with a really slumped over posture may have a 45-pound equivalency there that really should be more of like a 17-pound equivalency, which is what your head probably weighs. So just thinking about the cervical spine, thinking about the design, You never want to pressure down on your neck. Those vertebrae are the smallest vertebrae because they're designed to support the least amount of weight. So you want to keep thinking about your elevator. Run that elevator all the way up behind your nose. Your shoulders should be easy. Domes on so that everything balances nice and lightly on your neck. No tension in your shoulders. No knots in the base of your neck. And that's really good for getting rid of so many types of headaches as well. So thank you for listening, and God bless.